Have you ever caught yourself wondering why you do the things you do? Why you can't stop checking your phone? Why a song can instantly bring back a memory from years ago? Or why some people thrive under pressure while others shut down completely? That's psychology, the science of how we think, feel, and behave. And today you're getting the ultimate crash course, a full Psychology 101 lesson that breaks down how the human mind actually works and what you can expect to hear about if you decide to learn more about psychology. We'll explore the major perspectives of psychology, the key areas of study, and the scientific methods that make this one of the most fascinating fields in the world. So grab your curiosity, because by the end, you'll never look at human behavior the same way again. Part 1. The major perspectives. How psychologists see the mind. Let's start by seeing psychology through different lenses. Think of it like 7 camera angles, each capturing the same story, just from a new perspective. 1. The biological perspective. This one zooms in, literally, on your brain. The biological perspective says everything you think or feel is powered by biology, your neurons, hormones, and genetics. When you feel your heart racing before a big presentation, that's your amygdala firing up your fight or flight system. When you feel happy after a workout, that's dopamine rewarding you. It's why antidepressants change brain chemistry, and why genetics can influence things like temperament or attention. In short, your biology writes the hardware of your behavior. 2. The behavioral perspective. Now let's pull the focus outward to what we can actually see. Behaviorism is all about actions, not thoughts. It says we learn through rewards and punishments, kind of like life's invisible training program. Think Pavlov's dogs drooling when the bell rings, or a kid studying harder because they got an A last time. In the real world, this explains everything from habits to addictions, even social media design. Those likes and notifications are little dopamine rewards keeping you hooked. 3. The cognitive perspective. Now we're diving inside your mental software. The cognitive perspective studies how you process, store, and use information. It's all about thinking, memory, and problem solving. Imagine your brain as a computer. It takes input, processes it, and produces output. When you're deciding what to order for lunch or trying to remember a friend's birthday, that's cognition in action. This field helps us understand things like false memories, decision-making errors, and learning strategies. And it's at the heart of modern fields like AI and UX design. 4. The psychodynamic perspective. Next, we go beneath the surface, into the unconscious mind. This is the world of Sigmund Freud, who believed our hidden desires and early experiences shape everything we do. Freud thought that even things like slips of the tongue, Freudian slips, reveal what's buried in our unconscious. While some of his theories are outdated, the core idea still holds power. Much of our behavior is driven by thoughts and feelings we don't fully understand. Modern therapy still borrows from this, helping people uncover the roots of emotions that play out in adult life. Think of it as understanding why you react the way you do, not just how. 5. The humanistic perspective. Now let's take a more uplifting turn. The humanistic approach, championed by Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow, believes people are naturally good and capable of growth. Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs starts with basics like food and safety, then climbs towards self-esteem and self-actualization, becoming your best self. Humanistic psychology is the foundation for life coaching, self-help movements, and positive psychology, reminding us that personal growth is just as important as fixing problems. 6. The socio-cultural perspective. Ever notice how behavior changes depending on where you are or who you're with? That's the socio-cultural perspective at work. It shows how culture, society, and social norms shape the way we think and act. For instance, some cultures value independence, others emphasize community and family. Even the way we express emotions or define success is shaped by the social world around us. In our globalized, social media-driven world, this perspective has never been more relevant. 7. The evolutionary perspective. Finally, the big picture. The evolutionary perspective looks at behavior through the lens of survival and adaptation. It asks, why did this behavior evolve? Fear helps us avoid danger. Attraction helps us find partners. Cooperation helps groups survive. In modern life, that ancient programming still influences us, from our fight or flight reactions to our need for belonging. It's proof that the past still lives inside our psychology. So, whether you're looking at neurotransmitters or nurture, every perspective adds a piece to the puzzle of why humans behave the way they do. Now that we've explored how psychologists think, let's see what they study. Part 2. The key areas of psychology. What psychologists actually do. Psychology is a massive field. It doesn't just live in therapy offices or textbooks. It touches education, business, healthcare, sports, and even technology. Let's break down the core areas. 1. Developmental psychology. This field studies how people grow and change, from birth to old age. Think of it as a life timeline for the mind. It explores how babies learn language, how teenagers develop identity, and how aging affects memory. Famous psychologist Jean Piaget showed that children's thinking evolves in stages, from simple sensory play to abstract reasoning. You'll find developmental psychology behind school curriculums, parenting research, and child development programs worldwide. 2. Social psychology. This is where psychology meets everyday life, how we think, feel, and act around other people. Ever wondered why we conform to group pressure? Why some people follow authority blindly, or why kindness can spread as fast as cruelty online? That's social psychology. Classic experiments by Ash and Milgram revealed how powerful social influence can be. Today, this field explains online behavior, prejudice, persuasion, and even how social media shapes identity. 3. Personality psychology. Why are some people adventurous while others are cautious? Why do some handle stress easily while others crumble? That's what personality psychology studies, the traits that make us unique. The Big Five personality model: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, helps describe our individual patterns. It's used in everything from career counseling to relationship compatibility tests to leadership development. 4. Clinical psychology. This is what most people imagine when they hear psychologist. Clinical psychology focuses on diagnosing and treating mental health disorders, things like depression, anxiety, PTSD, and more. Therapists use evidence-based methods like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or psychodynamic therapy to help people understand and change their thoughts and behaviors. It's psychology in action, helping people live healthier, more balanced lives. 5. Cognitive psychology. Cognitive psychology digs into the nuts and bolts of how we process information, our attention, memory, and problem-solving abilities. Every time you recognize a face, solve a puzzle, or get lost in thought, you're living out cognitive psychology. Research from this field powers educational methods, AI design, and even advertising, because understanding how we think helps us improve how we learn and communicate. 6. Biopsychology/neuroscience. Finally, we go full circle, back to the brain itself. Biopsychology explores how brain activity and biology affect behavior. Using brain scans like fMRI and EEG, scientists can see what happens when we feel emotions, remember, or make decisions. This field bridges psychology and medicine, helping treat brain injuries, addiction, and neurological disorders. It's where psychology meets hard science, and it's changing how we understand what makes us human. So now we know how psychologists think and what they study. But how do they actually discover new knowledge? That's where the scientific method comes in. Part 3. The scientific methods. How psychology becomes science. Psychology isn't just guesswork or opinion, it's built on research. Let's walk through the main tools psychologists use to find the truth about human behavior. 1. Experiments. Experiments are the gold standard. Researchers manipulate one variable to see if it causes a change in another, while keeping everything else constant. For example, does getting more sleep improve test scores? One group sleeps 8 hours, another only 4, then both take the same exam. Experiments are perfect when you want to prove cause and effect, but they're sometimes limited by artificial lab settings. 2. Correlational studies. Not everything can be tested in a lab. That's where correlation comes in. It measures how two things move together. For example, social media use and anxiety might rise together. That's a positive correlation. But that doesn't mean one causes the other. Correlation points to patterns. Experiments confirm the reasons behind them. 3. Surveys and questionnaires. Want to know what people think or feel? Just ask. Surveys are great for collecting large-scale data on opinions, habits, or beliefs. They're used in everything from political polls to workplace satisfaction reports. But there's one catch. People aren't always honest or self-aware, so surveys work best alongside other methods. 4. Observational studies. Sometimes the best way to understand behavior is to watch it. In naturalistic observation, researchers quietly observe people in real-life settings, like students in class or customers in stores. It's ideal for studying behavior that can't be recreated in a lab, though it sacrifices control for authenticity. 5. Case studies. When something rare or unique happens, psychologists dive deep into it. Take Phineas Gage, the 1800s railroad worker who survived a brain injury that changed his personality. That single case helped reveal how the frontal lobe influences behavior. Case studies are powerful storytelling tools in science, though they don't always apply broadly. 6. Longitudinal and cross-sectional studies. Finally, psychology often studies change over time. Longitudinal studies follow the same people for years, great for studying development or aging. Cross-sectional studies, meanwhile, compare different age groups at one time to spot differences fast. Together, they help us understand how humans grow, adapt, and evolve mentally across their lifespan. So, what have we learned? Psychology isn't just therapy or textbooks. It's the science of you. It helps explain your emotions, your decisions, your habits, and even your relationships. It blends biology, thought, culture, and history to reveal what makes us human, and how we can grow beyond our limits. Whether you're studying psychology or just curious about the mind, remember this. Every action has a reason. Every thought has a pattern. And understanding those patterns can change how you see the world and yourself. Call to action. If this video helped you understand psychology better, give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment with which perspective you relate to most, biological, cognitive, or maybe humanistic? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into how the mind works, from personality to emotion to neuroscience. Because the more you understand psychology, the better you understand yourself.